I wanted to start the first question I wanted to ask, and I've always wondered this. Who do you think is the best fighter of all time, both real and not real? So like anyone that's real or not real, when you were growing up, when you were thinking, who did you look up to as like the greatest fighter of all time?
Excluding me?
Excluding yourself.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe you. I think you. Jeffrey, guys. Jeffrey, man. His nickname at the gym is, what is it? Duracell.
Duracell,
Come
like
on,
Energizer.
Man, he's got so much energy, always picking up the pace with us. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I think it's you. Like,
Well, apart from me or
I
you?
think anyone could be the best fighter in the world, bro.
Talk to
I think like the idea is, you can't look at it like that. Like everyone's got their niche. Like everyone's got their. Everyone can be, how do we call it in jiu-jitsu? Like specialist. Like if a guy's good at arm bars,
Yes.
like, and then another guy's good at knee bars, and you're a student of jiu-jitsu, you want to like be good at it. You need to go to these guys to find out like what do they actually do. You know what I mean? It's not like you can point out a certain guy for the whole martial art.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's so many
different
little games inside the jiu-jitsu that like you could say like Gordon Ryan, and then you'd be like, yeah, cool, but like what has he achieved in the gi? Do you know what I mean? Done a little bit, but like he didn't do like 10 years of like,
he's not Roger Gracie.
yeah, like he's not Buchecha, he's not like Leandro Lodge, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you could also argue these guys haven't done much in Nogi.
Nogi, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like,
it's hard to say one. Okay, I think when I asked the question, I was thinking more like Bruce Lee. I was thinking more like fictional characters where we can look at.
These are fictional. Like they're not real.
They're not real. So you can't really put them in.
Because like I think that's one thing that makes like our martial art not be look good, as good as like kung fu and stuff, because like there's not many moves about a guy doing jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, he pulls guard. And,
it doesn't look the same, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't look the same. It's not that dramatic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even though like some jiu-jitsu done good, it can look very nice, but it's not all of it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think especially like for me, right, when I see people fighting no gi, and I just see them grappling each other, like, because especially I think once you start learning what they're doing, you start seeing like the techniques they're using and how someone will slip out of a technique before someone else can get the choke in, and you're like, it becomes more exciting that way, innit? Like, but like you were saying, it doesn't look as like impressive as fucking Jackie Chan.
Yeah,
like,
for who doesn't know, do you know what I mean? Like for the normal public, it doesn't look as exciting.
For you, what was okay, let's start at the beginning then. What was your first introduction to the martial arts? Was it like watching it as a kid? Was it like fighting it yourself? Or?
Kind of. Like I remember like being very young and seeing like a punching bag in one of my, like in my house there in Brazil, my grandma's house. And then like found out like some people of my family was like a trainer or whatever. I started getting interested in it. And then my uncle, found out my uncle's judoka. So like he used to do judo since he was 9.
Oh wow.
So like I found out there was like lots of gis, like judo gis in my house.
Yeah.
So like sometimes I'll have my friends over and we put them on. And like we had some little mats as well. And then we play. No training.
Just
but
like fucking around.
Just like trying to rip each other's head off. Yeah, with gis. But like,
would you do like grips?
Yeah, but like, I ain't got a clue. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. We were just playing.
Yeah.
And like me and these friends, we kept going, like kept doing this kind of stuff. But like, I never like trained properly. Like I did a session, and then I was like, because in Brazil it's always very expensive. Like a gi would be like 300 quid. So like if I wanted like a jiu-jitsu gi, because all I had was a judo gi, I'd have to ask my family. And I was always very like conscious about
the money,
price and stuff.
And I
didn't want to ask my family for that.
Dude,
like,
see, I was that for football shoots. I would never want to like, even though I knew I wanted to.
Exactly, man. Like there's no point. No point.
But wait, so when you you were introduced to kind of like you said, like were you doing judo or were you just like you?
I've done a few one class judo when I lived in Italy because like that was the closest things to jiu-jitsu. But like my uncle, he when he came back from America, he was he did jiu-jitsu there for 6 years as well. So then he he would always like play with me and show me like, oh, this is what you do when the guy does this.
Yeah,
so like I knew guillotines, I knew like rear naked chokes, very young age. But then as soon as I got to here, I found Vinny, and then.
So that was when you first started.
Exactly.
Yeah, when you
like
properly...
I've been like at least 5 days a week, every week since then.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's so impressive. So 5 days a week, you said. I wanted to find out also what motivates you to train. So like, the reason I'm asking that question, obviously you go training all the time, and it's very tiring, obviously. And it's like, you know, like it's like mentally you have to always like, I don't know if you have this, mentally you have to always kind of convince yourself to go.
Yeah.
And then it's like tiring, but like you still do it. So so for people out there that find how to motivate themselves to go training every day, what motivates you to train? How do you do it all the time?
I feel like for me it's way easier because like since a young age I always done football. So like I would be like 5 days a week doing football. My dad always like said like, oh yeah, at least got to do a sport. And like, so like till I was 14, since I was 4, like 10 years of football. And then like I started gym later on, and then jiu-jitsu came along. So like, I always had this like, it was like my culture to do these things. So I don't find it that hard. But also like, knowing that I'm going to get to the gym and I'm going to train, like I train, like now I've been training 6 times a week for the past year or 2, 6 times a week. And now for the last 3 weeks, I haven't rested yet. I've been 3 weeks. Like this is the like the middle of the 3rd week that I've been in a row without rest, just training. Yeah. And like we'll see where that goes.
How do you get over your physical tiredness when you're in that mode of like continual training?
Man, there's no time, like for me at least, because like that's my job as well, because I also teach there. I'll have to be there on the day anyway. So like I'd rather be there as well for myself and get better than just like help people get better, you know what I mean? And like I have a dream. I have a dream that one day I might become like world champion, European champion,
100%,
Pan American champion, all the champions like
all of you,
you know what I mean?
Just see all of the time.
If I could do that, like if there's one guy that's put in the time, I'm doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm there. Like now we're gonna start this 7-week. It's like 7 times a week thing. Yeah. Let's see who's training more than me. We'll see
That's true. That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
Like if it's actually 1 + 1, then I should be getting.
100%
you know
agree,
I mean?
bro. I think it's like, and you're all right. It's like putting the 10,000 hours. Like, you know,
exactly.
To be a master at anything, you have to put in the hours, and that's nothing can replace that. You know. Yeah. Someone might.
And it doesn't matter if you're like bad at it. Like
if you do it
with the time, with the amount of time that you're just gonna get over being bad at it.
And also, if you're smart, like, you know what I mean, like you do a couple of enough times where you'll be like, okay, I can see where I'm going wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
And you start tweaking a little bit, and if you do it for like 10 years, like.
But I feel like for jiu-jitsu, that turning point can be activated way sooner with the competition. Do you know what I mean? Because like if you throw someone, because I did an experiment, like I had a few guys that trained with me, like new white belts, and they had like a month. Some of them had a month of training. And they're like, yeah, let's do this competition, blah, blah. Just throw them in. Like, they don't know no submissions. They don't know what they're doing there. They haven't got a clue. But, like, you throw them in there, and they get the feeling of a guy, like, trying to, like, rip your head off, trying to rip your arm out. You're like, Jesus, I need to wake up. Like, this is actually dangerous.
Yes, this is real.
Yeah, this is happening.
Yes.
So, like, I need to find a way. And then when you lose, or, like, sometimes they win. Yeah. So they get that feeling. Like, I find it good because, like, jiu-jitsu, you have, like, more than one fight at least on the day. Yeah, so, I find the best experience is the guy that, like, let's say he wins one and then loses one in the same day. Do you know what I mean?
That was me,
because he gets both of the feelings.
That was me. Yeah, that's my first time.
How was that?
So my first time, it's crazy you're saying that because you're right. Like when I got there, it was like, okay, the atmosphere is what you notice. It's like there's real, like you get there, it's like tension. People are always fighting. So straight away you can see people fighting, people going off. You can see the kind of aggression that's going on.
Yeah, emotions, right?
And then when you get in, like they call your name, you're like, okay, cool, fuck up. But you get on the mat, you say, it's like until it starts, it feels like it's a sparring, but when it starts,
it's not happening, right? Like it feels like it's not real.
Yes.
Yeah. Like...
And then when it starts, you're like, okay, fuck, okay. Like you just, there's always like because you don't know the person.
Of it is so hard.
Because you're so used to sparring against people that you know what they're gonna do. You know their friends,
and they're gonna be in here. They're like shaking your head. How are you? How is you doing?
Yeah. But
this guy doesn't care.
He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't even ask your name. He just straight
trying to rip your fingers off your hand.
Like. Yeah, and then even like I remember like the first one I ended up winning. But again, like even winning, you can learn things from.
Yeah, of course.
Because when I was like, okay, no, I was lucky there.
And the feeling of the win, like
that's the idea.
Yeah, that's the idea. Like you're gonna think like you're gonna chase that your whole life.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like you're gonna have to get that again because that's so good.
Yeah, 100%. Just having your hands raised and then it's like that feeling of like coming off and then even when I lost, like the second one I lost, I remember the guy put me in a I think it was like a. It wasn't an arm lock, it was a guillotine. Put me in a guillotine, but it was like the hardest guillotine I've ever felt. Because he was actually going for it. Because it may be inspiring someone to go for it, but they'll
adjust it properly. The guy doesn't care. He's pulling your head before it's locked properly.
And you're like, holy shit. And it's like, even my leg, I felt my leg. He had me in a leg lock. For a couple of days later, I was like, yo, this guy actually nearly took my leg off. Like,
man, it's hardcore, bro.
It's hard. Do you remember your first competition and what that was like? Talk to me about your first competition. What was the experience?
Bro, that was the worst experience of my life. Man, guy pulled guard and triangled me in like 15 seconds. You know what I mean? Yeah, but like, till nowadays, I feel like one of the submissions I'm most confident in escaping is triangle. Do you know what I mean? Because like, I lost there and I was like, Jesus, like I can't be getting in there. Okay, there's a way I'm not getting in there. But what if I end up there? Like, is that the end? Like, no. Like, jiu-jitsu is infinite. You know what I mean? So like, there is a way out. You just gotta scramble out. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta do the right things at the right time. And like, yeah, I found out like some good ways of escaping. And that I feel like that experience of losing made me so much tougher in that aspect. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Okay, let's. I want to start from the. I want to get into that, but let's break it down. For first off, how would you explain jiu-jitsu to someone who's never ever been in a gym before? Like, imagine someone who just got to the gym, say Mandela Gym. He walks in, he goes, "What the fuck am I doing here? What's jiu-jitsu?" How do you explain it to them?
So like,